Hello and welcome. Today we're having a proper look at this Fazley Sunset Series Sandshark. We're going to have a look at the specs, hear some tones, check out what other options there are in this price range and see if it could be a good option for you. Right, let's get to it. Here's the specs. Fazley Sunset Series Sandshark. We have a poplar body or a linden basswood body, depending on which spec sheet you go off of. Backs provide two spec sheets on their website. This particular finish is shell pink, but to me it's a bit deeper and fuller than that. I prefer to call it strawberry milkshake, and it has a high gloss finish. The body thickness is 41mm. This is another quite lightweight one at 6.4 pounds. It's an HH pickup configuration and they're listed as being passive humbuckers, which I think is code for ceramic. I mean, it would have to be at this price, surely. The controls are one volume and one tone, a three-way selector switch and a mini toggle switch to coil split the bridge humbucker. And interestingly, it's been designed not to split the neck humbucker. The hardware is listed as nickel plated and we have a 2-point trim. On the back we've got this awesome all-access neck heel carve again. I absolutely love this. This looks just as good as the Charvel one, which is like the best. It's a bolt-on neck, of course. The neck and fretboard are Canadian roasted maple, finished in satin gloss, and the fretboard looks super dark in comparison to the neck. Clearly a rich roast or something. It's a modern C-shape, 25.5 inch scale length with a 12 inch fretboard radius. It has a two-way adjustable truss rod, but this particular one is fully tensioned unfortunately. More on that later. 24 jumbo frets and a 42mm Graph Tech Tusk XL nut. Yay! Finished off with nickel plated sealed tuners. It comes stock with 9 to 42 gauge strings and includes a Fazley branded gig bag with an unknown amount of padding, but it feels like 10mm or less. The pickup readings are: bridge is 14.7k, the bridge split is 7.48k, the bridge and neck together is 5.1k, the bridge and neck split is 3.82k, and the neck is 7.7k. Now here's some tones. Each pickup position, clean and dirty, going through the Line 6 HX Stomp XL direct into a Roland Go Mixer Pro X. The cleans are with a Fender twin style amp with a touch of reverb, and the dirty channel is two stacked overdrives, a TS9 type and an OCD type, with the same reverb applied as on the clean tones. Enjoy! So this guitar arrived with a couple of issues. If you've not seen my first impressions and unboxing video of that, you can check it out up here. But I've since encountered another couple of problems. So here's a quick recap on the previous issues. 1. The nut is too tall, which results in poor tuning when you start fretting on the lower frets. There's too much relief in the neck, which means the action's too high, and the truss rod is fully tensioned, which means that you can't turn it to remedy the neck relief. The coil split, which is a great feature, only affects the bridge pickup. You can't coil split the neck pickup. But apparently that's not an issue, as John Robson found out via Bach's Music recently in his video that this is by design, although I'm not quite sure why they went with that choice. The new issues that I've spotted, basically after watching John Robson's review, I didn't catch them in my first impressions. By the way, check out John Robson's review, it's very good. Is firstly, the middle position has some phasing going on, so it sounds kind of like that half-cocked wah-wah pedal sound, or the fourth position if you get that four-way tele mod, or the Peter Green sound. Personally, I do quite like that sound. It's one of my favourites on this guitar, but it doesn't really suit the shreddy vibe of this guitar. I've had some correspondence with Bach's about these issues, and they've assured me that they are taking it very seriously, and they've been investigating the rest of the stock. There's a related video on that in the description as well. I'd just like to point out here that Bach's, during this whole thing, have been very open to the suggestions and feedback, and generally just pretty great to deal with. They respond quickly and they act on things fast. Now, ideally these issues wouldn't occur in the first place, but Bach seem to be taking action to make things right as swiftly as possible. Okay, on to my favourite, the tuners. The weakest part of the guitar once again, but it's an easy fix. This is how they keep the cost down on these guitars. You can get yourself a pretty decent set of lock-in tuners, drop-in replacements on these guitars for about £30. Check out Vanson, or you can even go cheaper and get Music Lily, review on them up there. Yeah, you can get something sorted and fix that issue quite easily. And while you're at it, you'll probably want to change the string trees too, especially if you want to get any use out of this trem. Speaking of which, I've not tried out this trem yet, so I couldn't comment on how reliable it is. Sorry. The fretboard is a much darker piece of roasted maple than the neck, same as on the Tortoise guitar, and unfortunately they've went with the black dot markers, which isn't ideal for visibility in low light situations like gigs, etc. So it would be great to see some lighter colour dots on this. White is probably what you would need, or cream. Yeah, at least on the sides. If they want the sleek black look on the front, go for it, but we need them on the sides. Well, I do anyway. Right, let's finally get around to looking at some positives. Now, I do like this colour. But maybe that's because... But if you're not, it also comes in black, blue and green. So there's something for everyone. Aside from that, if you've seen any of my other videos, you'll know how much I appreciate a well-contoured heel joint. And this is one of the best. Woo! Check this out. It's pretty much on par with a Charvel. That's impressive. And I've got a review of that Charvel that you can check out up here, because I think that's what this is trying to do. Kinda. That Charvel DK22 is just under £1,000 and it's got pretty impressive specs of its own, but also shares quite a few impressive specs with this Fazley. Speaking of which, the price of this is supposed to be £187, but it's currently reduced to £161. Now if there was no issues with this guitar with the truss rod and the nut, this is a pretty interesting contender in the market at this price point. So what's the competition for this? This style of guitar, twin humbucker and 24 frets, isn't my usual kind of guitar, so I'm not too well versed in what alternatives are available. If you know of any competitors to this in the same price range, then let me know in the comments. Some people have made comparisons to the Harley Benton Fusions, but to me I think they're in a different price bracket. Possibly the Harley Benton Progressive series, but they're a bit cheaper than this, but doesn't have the roasted maple neck or the contoured heel access. So I think this Sandshark is pretty unique at this price point for its specs and feature set. It's a pity there was a couple of issues, because I would love to get this action down to like a shreddable level to see what the potential of this guitar is. To me, this guitar is clearly going for the Charvel DK24 vibe, and one thing I'd love to see added to this would be the same jack socket access as on the Charvel, right here on the back at an angle. Absolutely genius. And it's not entirely impossible to do at this price point. Chinese brand Zuwei guitars had a go at this before with this affordable shredder that cost about €360, which is about £222. Check it out. It's since been discontinued and it had pretty terrible reviews online. You could check out the 60 cycle hum review video or Elmo Karl Casey review. They were pretty bad. But I think that's just what happens when you try and pack in too many features at such an affordable price. But I reckon Fazley could pull this off, and I'd love to see it. And I reckon that would give them a unique selling point over any other competitors. The Zuwei also had the truss rod access at the heel. If Fazley could get that in there too, then they'd eradicate this truss rod issue, and then you're getting really close to the Charvel specs. Another thing I'd like to see from Fazley on this model is they're already using a Graphtec nut, so Maybe we could get Graphtec string trees as well instead of these, especially if there's a trem on the guitar. Maybe the string trees instead of the gig bag? Sounds good to me. And also include the coil split on the neck pickup too. Something I forgot to mention on this is that the fret ends are like really good. Really good. This would pass Phil McKnight's sock test, I'm pretty sure of it. It's a really nice lightweight and it sits on you very comfortably because of all the contours. So who is this guitar for? Well, if you're after a DK24 on the cheap and you get one of these without any issues, then it's pretty much a modder's dream. But I'd replace a lot on this. Of course, locking tuners, let's get them on there. It's a quick easy fix, about 25 to 30 pound. String trees, we need decent string trees if we want to be able to use this trem. The nut, either have to start again with the nut or remove it and take some away from the underside because it's too tall. Hopefully in the new batches and by the time you get one, this will be addressed already. I actually think the pickups in this are very decent for the kind of thing that it is and for the price. Pretty impressive. They're quite hot, which is what you would expect, but they've still got some quite good clarity. Change these to something of your taste if you want, but I'd at least upgrade the wiring to fix the phasing in the middle position and add the coil split function to the neck pickup. As I said before, I've not used the trem so I can't comment on its functionality. I didn't have a trem arm with this one. I could have got one but I just forgot to use that, sorry. If the trem isn't great and does require an upgrade, you can get a fairly decent Wilkinson unit for about 30 quid. Chuck on a cheap set of locking tuners and upgrade the string trees and you've got yourself something very Charvel-like for about a third of the price. But by that price point, you'll have found yourself in Harley Benton Fusion territory, and you could get something quite similar but with the addition of stainless steel frets. I believe stainless steel frets is something that Fazley are looking into doing in the future, so keep an eye out, you never know, we might see them yet. Okay, so what did you think of this Fazley Sunset Series Sandshark? Issues aside, would you give one a go? Let me know in the comments. I mean, it's not really my kind of thing, but I think it's got great potential as a mod platform if you do like that kind of thing. If you're still here and you enjoyed the video, then go on, give it a wee like, wee thumbs up. Apparently, it helps the channel. Okay, thanks for watching. Until next time. See you later.